The ultimatum. Admiral Marcus Thorne's voice reverberated with a cold, almost amused tone as he addressed the alien ambassador. The bridge of the UES Vindication was a sea of tense silence, broken only by the hum of the starship's power core. The crew, a hand-picked team of Earth's finest, stared resolutely ahead, showing no sign that they had heard the unfolding exchange. But they had heard, and every one of them knew that Thorne was not bluffing. The massive view screen at the front of the bridge displayed the image of the alien envoy. The ambassador, representing the Kotar Dominion, stood tall in its slick, chitinous armor, its many eyes blinking in unsettling unison. The arrogance of the Kotar Dominion was palpable, a species that had never known defeat. "We demand your unconditional surrender, human." The ambassador's voice was a hissing, dripping with condescension. "The Kotar Dominion will not tolerate further delays. You have 3 standard cycles to comply, or your world will be annihilated." Thorne leaned back in his command chair, a slow smile curling at the corners of his mouth. His hand moved lazily, almost bored, to the holographic projector beside him. The projector flickered to life, displaying a 3-dimensional map of the galaxy. Thorne zoomed in on a region marked by red indicators, every marker a Kotar warship blotting out the stars. The numbers were staggering. Thousands of capital ships, each capable of scorching a planet's surface to glass. "Let me get this straight," Thorne began, his voice as cool as the void of space. "You think we're just going to roll over and let you take Earth? You think you can scare us into submission with threats?" The ambassador's eyes blinked in synchronized irritation. "You are outnumbered. Your technology is inferior. Resistance is illogical. You cannot win." Thorne chuckled, a low, dangerous sound that echoed through the bridge. "Outnumbered and inferior, you say?" He stood up from his chair, crossing his arms as he approached the view screen. "You've been monitoring us for how long? A decade? 2? And you still don't get it." The silence on the bridge stretched thin, the ambassador's many eyes blinking out of sync for the first time. Thorne let the silence linger, savoring the discomfort it caused. Then, with deliberate calm, he broke it with a single word: war. The ambassador recoiled slightly, sensing the shift in Thorne's demeanor, but unable to fully grasp its implications. Thorne's smile widened, not as a man on the brink of defeat, but as someone who had already won. "You've seen our ships, our weapons, our tactics. You think that's all we've got. But here's the thing about humans. We don't just fight wars, we become war." The ambassador's composure faltered, a flicker of fear evident in its alien eyes. Thorne's voice rose in intensity, the air on the bridge crackling with his resolve. "You've seen a glimpse of our power. You think our technology is primitive because we don't rely on the same toys you do. But you've never pushed us to the brink. You've never forced us to fight for our survival with no other option but total victory or extinction." Thorne paused, his eyes gleaming with a fire that no alien could comprehend. "You're about to find out what happens when humanity is pushed to that edge. You want war? We'll give you war. And when we're done, there won't be enough of your species left to fill a single escape pod." The ambassador's composure slipped further, a flicker of panic crossing its features. "This is your final warning, human. Surrender or be destroyed." Thorne tilted his head, as if considering the offer for the first time. Then, with sudden decisiveness, he slammed his fist down on the holographic projector, shattering the image of the Kotar fleet. "Go ahead, make your move, and when you do, you'll see just how wrong you are." The connection severed, and the view screen went dark. Thorne turned back to his crew, who now watched him with a mixture of anticipation and awe. He was a man who had just declared war, not with bluster, but with the quiet confidence of someone who knew exactly what was at stake, and what he was willing to do to protect humanity. The gathering storm. The hum of the UES Vindication's engines was the only sound that filled the bridge as Admiral Thorne's declaration of war settled over his crew like a heavy fog. The tension was palpable, each member of the crew acutely aware of the gravity of the situation. Earth was no longer just another planet in the galaxy. It was now a target, and its defenders had been given a clear message. Admiral Thorne walked deliberately to the command console, his expression set with a determined resolve. "Prepare the fleet," he ordered, his voice cutting through the silence. "I want all ships to be combat-ready within the hour." A flurry of activity erupted across the bridge as the crews sprang into action. Officers relayed orders through the communication channels, engineers and technicians rushed to their stations, and the ship's AI systems began the complex procedures necessary to prepare for battle. Thorne watched with a focused intensity, knowing that every second counted. Meanwhile, in the Strategic Command Center deep within Earth's orbital defense network, General Elena Carter and her team of military strategists were busy analyzing the information transmitted by the Vindication. A holographic projection of the galaxy spun slowly in the center of the room, with the Kotar fleet's positions marked in red. The sheer scale of the impending conflict was overwhelming. General Carter, one of her aides, said, "We've just received the latest data from Admiral Thorne. The Kotar Dominion has amassed an overwhelming force." Carter's eyes narrowed as she studied the display. "We anticipated that they would come in force, but this is beyond what we expected. We need to coordinate with the rest of the fleet and fortify our defenses. The Kotar will not just invade, they will try to crush us." Another strategist chimed in, "We have 3 cycles to prepare. We need to mobilize all available assets and ensure that every defense system is operational. If Thorne's message is any indication, we're about to face the fight of our lives." Carter nodded, her mind racing with plans and contingencies. "Let's get to work. We need to rally our forces, boost morale, and make sure every defense line is fortified. We're not just defending Earth, we're showing the galaxy that humanity will not be intimidated." Back on the Vindication, Thorne's crew was working tirelessly to ensure the ship was prepared for the coming battle. The vast starship was a marvel of human engineering, equipped with state-of-the-art weaponry and defensive systems. As the crew performed their tasks, Thorne's executive officer, Commander Rachel Lee, approached him with a report. "Admiral, all systems are coming online. We'll be ready for combat within the hour as you ordered. The fleet is also preparing for action. We've received messages of support from several allied forces." Thorne acknowledged the report with a nod, his eyes scanning the view screen that now displayed a real-time update of the approaching Kotar fleet. "Good. Make sure we're in constant communication with our allies. We need to be ready for anything." The minutes ticked by, and the anticipation grew. Every crew member on the Vindication understood the stakes. This was not just a battle, it was a test of humanity's will to survive. The ship's crew, united in their resolve, prepared for the coming storm with a mixture of nervous energy and fierce determination. As the final preparations were made, Thorne took a moment to reflect on the enormity of the situation. The Kotar Dominion was a formidable foe, but humanity's resilience and ingenuity had always been its greatest strengths. The conflict ahead would be brutal, but Thorne was confident in his crew's ability to rise to the challenge. With the fleet now in battle readiness, Thorne and his crew braced for the confrontation that was about to unfold. The galaxy had just witnessed the beginning of humanity's most significant stand against an overwhelming enemy. The stage was set for a battle that would determine the fate of Earth and possibly the future of all humanity. "Prepare for jump to the battle zone," Thorne commanded, his voice steady with resolve. "Let's show them what it means to challenge Earth." As the UES Vindication and the Allied fleet prepared to engage, the stars outside the view screen seemed to pulse with the promise of conflict. Humanity was ready to face the onslaught, and the universe would soon witness the full measure of their defiance. The clash of titans. The UES Vindication slipped out of hyperspace into the heart of the battle zone, and the sight that greeted Admiral Thorne and his crew was nothing short of staggering. The vast expanse of space was now filled with the ominous presence of the Kotar Dominion's fleet. Thousands of warships, each one a colossal testament to alien power, loomed in the distance, their dark silhouettes stark against the backdrop of distant stars. "Admiral Thorne, we're in position," Commander Rachel Lee reported, her voice steady despite the tension. "The fleet is aligning with our formation, and all systems are operational." "Excellent," Thorne responded, his eyes scanning the view screen as the enemy fleet's massive ships came into sharper focus. "Prepare for engagement. I want the first wave of fighters launched immediately." The crew sprang into action, their movements precise and synchronized. Fighters and bombers shot out from the Vindication's launch bays, streaking toward the enemy fleet with deadly intent. On the ground, Earth's planetary defense systems were activated, and the orbital platforms prepared to unleash their firepower. In the command center, General Elena Carter observed the unfolding battle with a mixture of grim determination and strategic calculation. The holographic display showed the conflict's progress, with Earth's defenses holding firm against the initial assault. However, the Qatar fleet was relentless, their ships moving with a coordinated precision that spoke of years of preparation. "General Carter, we've detected an anomaly," one of the technicians said urgently. "The Qatar fleet seems to be coordinating their attack with an unexpected level of synchronization. It's almost as if they anticipate our every move." Carter's brow furrowed as she reviewed the data. "They must have adapted their tactics based on our previous engagements. We need to adjust our strategy quickly, initiate the countermeasures, and reinforce the sectors under heavy attack." Back on the Vindication, Thorne and his crew were engaged in the thick of the action. The ship's weapon systems blazed with energy as it fired upon the enemy fleet, each shot precise and devastating. The Qatar ships responded with their own barrage, and the space around the Vindication became a chaotic dance of light and destruction. "Direct hit on the starboard side," a technician reported. "Shield levels are holding, but we've sustained minor damage." "Repair teams to the starboard side immediately," Thorne ordered. "We need to maintain full operational capacity." As the battle raged on, the Vindication's fighters engaged the Qatar forces in a series of intense dogfights. The agility of the human ships and the strategic prowess of their pilots began to show as they outmaneuvered and outgunned their opponents. The Qatar fleet's initial confidence began to waver, and signs of disorganization appeared in their ranks. Meanwhile, General Carter's adjustments were paying off. The planetary defense systems had managed to turn the tide in several sectors, pushing back the Qatar forces and inflicting significant damage. Earth's defenses, though stretched thin, were proving more resilient than the invaders had anticipated. On the Vindication's bridge, Thorne surveyed the unfolding battle with a calculated focus. His crew was performing admirably, and the tide of the battle was beginning to turn in humanity's favor. But Thorne knew that this was just the beginning. The Qatar Dominion would not relent easily, and the true test of humanity's strength was yet to come. "Hold the line," Thorne instructed his crew. "We've given them a taste of what we're capable of, but this battle is far from over. They will regroup and come at us with renewed fury. We need to be ready." The view screen displayed the battlefield in all its chaotic glory. The Vindication, alongside Earth's fleet and planetary defenses, had successfully repelled the initial assault, but the Qatar Dominion's ships were regrouping for a more intense attack. The coming hours would be crucial, and every decision made would impact the outcome of the conflict. As the battle continued, the stars seemed to flicker with the energy of the fight. Humanity had proven its resilience and determination, but the war was far from over. The universe watched as the clash of titans unfolded, with Earth's defenders standing firm against the overwhelming might of the Qatar Dominion. The turning tide. The fierce battle continued to rage as the Vindication and its allied forces fought valiantly against the Qatar Dominion. Admiral Thorne stood at the center of the chaos, his gaze unwavering as he directed his crew with precision. The initial wave of attacks had been repelled, but the Qatar fleet was regrouping for another assault. "Admiral, the Qatar ships are preparing for a coordinated offensive," reported Commander Rachel Lee. They're bringing in reinforcements. Understood, Thorne replied, his voice steady. We'll need to adapt quickly. Prepare to execute Phase 2 of our strategy. On the battlefield, the Kotar fleet's renewed aggression was evident. Their ships moved with calculated precision, aiming to exploit any weaknesses in Earth's defenses. Yet, despite the overwhelming numbers, humanity's resolve and ingenuity began to shine through. General Elena Carter's adjustments had begun to make a significant impact. The planetary defense systems and orbital platforms were proving effective in holding back the Kotar forces. Earth's fleet, though battered, had regrouped and was now countering the enemy's moves with increasing effectiveness. General, we're holding them at the outer perimeter, a technician announced. Casualties are mounting, but our forces are holding their ground. Carter nodded, her expression resolute. Keep up the pressure. We've shown them what we're capable of, but we need to maintain our momentum. On the Vindication, Thorne's tactical decisions were paying off. The ship's weaponry was relentless, and the fighters executed their maneuvers with precision. The Kotar ships, though numerous, struggled to maintain their earlier advantage. Admiral, we're seeing signs of disorganization in the Kotar fleet, a crew member reported. Their formations are breaking down. Good, Thorne said with a grim smile. Let's keep the pressure on them. We need to exploit this opportunity. As the hours passed, the tide of battle shifted. The Kotar Dominion's once coordinated offensive was faltering, their ships becoming more vulnerable to human attacks. The Vindication and its allies pressed their advantage, pushing back against the alien invaders. In the midst of the chaos, Admiral Thorne and General Carter exchanged a brief communication, each acknowledging the other's contributions. The battle was far from over, but humanity had proven its capacity for resilience and adaptability. The Kotar Dominion had underestimated Earth's resolve, and now the true test of the conflict's outcome loomed on the horizon. The stars continued to shimmer with the energy of the battle as the forces of Earth and the Kotar Dominion clashed. Humanity's determination had turned the tide, but the final outcome remained uncertain. With each passing moment, the stakes grew higher, and the galaxy held its breath as the clash of titans unfolded. A new strategy emerges. The battle had reached a critical juncture. The Vindication and its allies had managed to push back the Kotar Dominion's forces, but the struggle was far from over. The remnants of the Kotar fleet regrouped, and their commanders were not ready to concede defeat. Admiral Thorne convened a strategy meeting with his top officers. We've gained some ground, but we need to press our advantage. The Kotar Dominion won't back down easily. We need a new plan. General Carter, who had been analyzing the battle data, spoke up. We've identified a pattern in their attacks. The Kotar fleet relies heavily on their flagship vessels for coordination. If we can disrupt their command structure, we can cripple their ability to fight effectively. Thorne nodded thoughtfully. How do we achieve that? We need a targeted strike, Carter replied. We'll deploy a specialized team to take out the flagship vessels. If we can hit their command centers, it will cause confusion and disarray among their forces. Agreed, Thorne said, his eyes narrowing with determination. Let's make it happen. Assemble the best operatives for this mission. We need precision and speed. The plan was set in motion. Elite teams were dispatched to infiltrate the Kotar Dominion's lines and target their flagship vessels. The stakes were high, but the potential rewards were immense. Disrupting the command structure of the enemy fleet could turn the tide of the entire battle. As the strike teams prepared for their mission, the battle continued to rage. Earth's forces maintained their pressure, keeping the Kotar fleet engaged and off balance. The specialized operatives moved swiftly, evading enemy patrols and making their way towards the heart of the Kotar fleet. Hours passed as the teams executed their plan with precision. Explosions erupted among the flagship vessels, causing chaos and confusion within the Kotar Dominion's ranks. The once coordinated fleet was now struggling to regroup and respond. Admiral, the strike teams have succeeded. a communications officer reported. The flagship vessels are in disarray, and the Qatar forces are faltering. Excellent, Thorne said with a grim satisfaction. Let's capitalize on this moment, intensify the assault, and drive them back. With the enemy's command structure in disarray, Earth's forces pressed their advantage. The battle took on a new intensity as the Qatar Dominion struggled to recover from the unexpected blow. Humanity's resilience and tactical ingenuity were proving to be formidable weapons in this high-stakes conflict. As the battle continued, the outcome remained uncertain, but one thing was clear. Earth's forces had shown they could adapt and overcome even the most daunting challenges. The galaxy watched with bated breath as the struggle between humanity and the Qatar Dominion reached a pivotal point, turning the tide. In the wake of the successful strike on the Qatar Dominion's flagships, Admiral Thorne and his crew prepare for the final phase of their counteroffensive. The chaos within the enemy ranks had created a window of opportunity that they were determined to exploit. On the bridge of the Vindication, Thorne addressed his team. We've broken their command structure and thrown them into disarray. Now, we need to capitalize on that. Our goal is to push them back and reclaim any lost ground. General Carter added, We've also intercepted communication from the Qatar Dominion. They're scrambling to regroup, but their response is slow. We need to maintain the pressure and keep them on the defensive. The Vindication led the charge as Earth's forces launched a renewed offensive. With the Qatar fleet in disarray, their once formidable defenses were now vulnerable. The combined might of Earth's fleet pushed forward, driving the enemy forces back and reclaiming territory. As the battle raged, Lieutenant Commander Harris, an experienced pilot, maneuvered his fighter through the chaos. We've got a clear path to their remaining command ships, he reported. Engaging targets now. Harris and his squadron focused their fire on the remaining Qatar command vessels, disrupting their communications and further exacerbating the enemy's confusion. The relentless assault forced the Qatar Dominion to fight on multiple fronts, stretching their resources thin. Amidst the chaos, Admiral Thorne remained vigilant. Keep pushing forward. We can't afford to let up now. The combined efforts of Earth's forces began to turn the tide of the battle. The Qatar Dominion's once formidable fleet was now struggling to maintain cohesion. Earth's ships, fueled by determination and tactical brilliance, pressed their advantage relentlessly. As the conflict reached its peak, the Qatar Dominion's resolve began to waver. The tide of battle had shifted decisively, and the once overwhelming enemy force was now on the brink of retreat. The struggle for survival had shown humanity's ability to adapt and overcome even the most daunting challenges. With each passing moment, the outcome of the battle became clearer. Earth's forces had not only defended their world, but had also demonstrated their unwavering strength and resilience. As the Qatar Dominion's fleet faltered, the galaxy bore witness to the indomitable spirit of humanity in the face of adversity. The final reckoning. As the final phase of the battle unfolded, Admiral Thorne and his crew sensed victory was within their grasp. The Qatar Dominion's once unyielding fleet had been driven to the brink, their forces in disarray and retreating under the relentless pressure from Earth's military. On the bridge of the Vindication, Thorne addressed his crew. We've pushed them back, but let's not get complacent. Finish what we started. We need to ensure they can never threaten Earth again. General Carter coordinated with various fleet units, ensuring that the retreating Qatar ships were pursued and engaged. Our task now is to prevent them from regrouping. We need to dismantle their ability to wage war against us in the future. The Vindication and its allied ships moved decisively, targeting the remaining Qatar Dominion vessels and strategic assets. Earth's fleet, buoyed by their previous successes, operated with precision and efficiency, cutting down the enemy's remaining forces. Amid the ongoing conflict, Lieutenant Commander Harris and his squadron executed a critical mission. They targeted the last major Qatar command ship, a vessel crucial for the Dominion's remaining operations. With a well-placed assault, they disabled its engines and communications, effectively crippling the enemy's ability to coordinate their defense. As the last of the Kotar Dominion's forces were neutralized, Admiral Thorne's voice crackled over the comms. To all units, the battle is won. The Kotar Dominion is defeated. Return to base and prepare for a full debrief. We've shown them what humanity is capable of. With the immediate threat gone, Earth's forces began the process of securing their victory. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's resilience and adaptability. The battle had been hard-fought, but the triumph was a testament to human strength and determination. As the Vindication and its allies prepared to return to Earth, the crew reflected on the monumental struggle they had endured. The victory was not just a tactical win, but a powerful statement of humanity's ability to rise above even the most formidable adversaries. The galaxy would remember this battle as a turning point, a moment when humanity had demonstrated its unyielding spirit and unwavering resolve.